Hello, I'm back again with another video. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Whether you're a new viewer, my subscribers or whatsoever. So thank you guys for liking, for subscribing on my YouTube channel. As I said, I'm back again with another video. So this is something that I've collectively that a lot of people are going through. So I was like, it's okay to make a video that is actually a lot of things that are a lot of people that are actually going through it, because I feel like we're constantly going through a lot of awakening, whether it's come off as a rude one or a soft one. It just depends on you, because we're all here to evolve. So any kind of evolution, whenever you feel comfortable in your toxicity, comfortable with your bad habits, somehow the universe always gonna slap the shit out of you in order for you to be aware of your toxicity, or any kind of behavior that you actually need to let go, whether it's a belief, people around you, a job, a career choice, anything that is actually of course. I feel like this new moon is all about us telling us that, you know what, we need to make that hard decision, but the best decision ever. So this video is actually about cutting people off. Okay, you hear a lot of people like, oh, you cut that person off, like, you know, because it's something that a lot of people are not comfortable with doing it, because one minute you take a lot of picture with this person, the next thing you're not seeing around with this kind of kind of individual. So a lot of people are being triggered by it, and sometimes those people who trigger you, like for example, I don't see around anymore with this kind of person. Of course you'll be like, or maybe you're gonna be like, how is that, kind of feeling triggered with those kind of decisions, because it's a decision that you made personally. So I'm just gonna talk about cutting people off. I feel like I've been dragging to make this video because I feel like, oh, it's too personal, but at the same time, why not? Because my personal experience it can make someone out there to relate. So okay, when you choose to cut people off, you're not cutting them off because you hate them. Oh, maybe currently probably you feel like you hate them, but I don't believe people cut people off because they hate them. I believe it's because it it's when, maybe I'm not gonna speak for others, but for me personally, when I choose to let go of someone is because they are really not good for my mental health. And most of the time it's when I finally had it, like, when you've been getting those nudge about someone that this person is not good for, but you keep on dragging it, and they'll be like, you know what, I can't keep up. So cutting people off is not a bad thing, and I've noticed a lot of people have been triggered by it. They think you should stay because this saying that people use, that keep your enemies around, keep your whoever around, which it's something that I usually have like, I usually don't get it. What do you mean you should keep people around? Because it's something that I will never understand, because all of us were actually having energy. We're energy in this cosmic. As we are all energy in this cosmic, there's a higher possibility not us vibrating on the same level anymore when we're actually evolving, when we're actually growing. So when we're evolving, when we're growing, you want what? New experience. When you're evolving, your vibration increase. When you're evolving, your vibration is constantly improving. I'm not talking about externally revolution. External revolution is fine, but having money, okay, it's another external revolution. But I'm talking about internally revolution. When you're actually revolving, you won't vibe with the same people that you vibe with before. You won't vibe with the same tolerance that you actually had in the past. Probably you have a lot of tolerance for BS, and then now here you are vibrating high, and then what do you need? You need people who actually understand your energy. You need people who are constantly evolving. You need people who constantly understand that we're all here. You need to be around people who actually know the meaning of life, who living a purposeful life. You actually want to be around people who are like-minded. You, because this is what we all here for. We all here to learn, to unlearn, to experience. Sometimes people are there in our life for whatever version of that we actually had at that time. We meet people when we're actually vibrating a certain frequency, and then when you look like, oh my god, you know, because now you're evolving, you feel like, oh my god, that version of myself needed those individuals for that version of yourself that we're actually in. Because I believe there is a past version of ourselves, there's current version of ourselves, there's also a future version of ourselves. There's no limit in your version of, or in version of yourself. When you start labeling yourself as a finally I'm meeting my final version of myself, I believe the only time you feel like it's finally is actually when you're dead. Because when you are dying, you're dying in that version of yourself, and then when you reincarnate again, when you, because we die and get reborn again. So when we get reborn again, what happened to us? We continue where we left off. Sometimes our vibration where we left off, it made us choose our parents, because what happened is we choose our parent before we even get being born. Because most of the time you notice the vibration, the experience is actually there for you to evolve in any way or how. So when you cut people off, it's something a lot of people are not okay with it. Because I remember when I told a roommate that I didn't tell her that I'm gonna cut people. Like I'm not a huge fan of announcing whatever that is actually going on. I'm usually comfortable announcing probably 3 months later, or when I'm actually feel like, you know what, I can take whatever people say, you know. So I made this decision to let go of this person, and then this girl kept on asking me, I'm like, constantly avoid her questions, and then we're like my roommate, and then I was like, you know what, when I decided to be okay with talking about it, like, oh, I cut her off, and she was like, she was being triggered like a lot, and I was like, what? Because in her mind she got a lot of people that are not good for her, but because I know that it's not okay to tell people what to do, they have to learn that on their own. So as I said, this person is not good for you. You need to let them go. Obviously, you're not gonna just. Some people want to learn in a hard way, so it's a whole personal experience. I'm not here to make her stop her health rope by telling her what to do. So you know those kind of things. When you cut people off, you don't cut people off because you hate them. You cut people off because it's you honoring your mental health. It's you honoring your growth or personal growth. It's you honoring your anything that is actually good for you, because there's no way you can just cut people off who are actually good for you. There's no way. I'm talking about, when I'm talking about people who are good for you, people who are actually uplifting you, people who are actually healthy for you, and people who are actually giving you mutual energy that you are giving them. So when you choose to cut people, don't be okay. It's uncomfortable initially. It's so uncomfortable because sometimes you're gonna come cross path with them, and then you're gonna be triggered by it. You're gonna change direction. I've done that. I've been there. So yes, even if I'm still cutting people off, yes, I must be have now I have a lot of love for myself compared before, because when I used to cut people off, it used to hurt more, because I feel like I attached a lot to a lot of people. So learning the art of detaching and caring about people, caring about things, caring about whatever things that I'm actually drawn to, whether it's a career, whatsoever. So when I let go, of course, I will drift, but at the same time, I'm okay with the new path. I'm okay with whatever that is actually happening, that is presented by the cosmic, presented by Earth. So we're all here to do whatever that is actually feel right. Cutting people off is another way of taking care of yourself. So don't allow people to tell you otherwise. You know better. You know what exactly you want in your company. You know what exactly you want around. So when you hear people telling you that you shouldn't do, I feel like when you're making decision of cutting people off, it's okay to withdraw in order to be sure of your decision. It's okay to take your time. It's okay to be sad after making that decision, because even if you make best decision for yourself, they're gonna hurt. Because when you cut people off, obviously people were once in your life, you did love them. Even if you stop loving them, you're still loving them distance, because you choose that. You can spontaneously love yourself at the same time spontaneously loving them at a distance. There's nothing wrong with that. So don't let people to tell you otherwise. So when you're making a decision of letting go of people, it's a hard decision. It's not an ego decision. So when I'm talking about a hard decision, do you know when you probably had a friend, or maybe now, maybe you were also like that. So where you were telling that I'm cutting that person off, I don't understand, why are you doing that? Why are you announcing that decision to everyone? Why are you telling everyone that decision? But again, I, but of course we're all different, so we do things different. We do things in a way that we know how. So like, I will never, but still I feel like it's toxic to use that we're actually living, cutting people off, to constantly telling them that. I feel like it's toxic. When I meet people who actually do that, I'm like, what? Because I will never understand why you keep on doing that. Because it's a decision that is personal. Why are you using that in order to want people to do whatever that you want them to do? When you say I'm gonna cut this person off often, like, it's like the same thing. It's a mental abuse, a emotional abuse, when you're constantly using that cut, like, I'm gonna cut you off because you're this and that and that. And then all those people end up acting right. Like, why are you staying there? Why are you being manipulative as them? Because at the same time, the fact that you know that you need to let go of them, why are you constantly talking about, like, it's the same thing when you're dating someone. They always, whenever you are going, they're like, let's break up, let's break up, let's break up. I find it's abusive. It's so abusive. So using way cutting off, who are you telling? Because it's a personal decision, you know. So yes, we do things differently, but I feel like cut people off, it's okay to cut people off silently. It's okay to have, you know what, I came to this decision. I feel like we are good, but I feel like it's best for me, like, for example, when you have a cutting person off face to face, it's the best decision that we actually part away from each other. I feel like I need this. We are all both in a different path. I need this. I need this separation from you. I need this whatsoever. And this separation will include me cutting you off for good. You don't have to greet me when you see me on the way. You don't have to act like we met, because once we're once strangers, you know. We can go back to, of course, we have history now, but it's okay to, you know, move separately. It's okay to move apart. That decision, it's a I feel like it's a healthy way of actually cutting people off. But I feel at the same time, I'm aware of a silent cutting people off, because a lot of times people won't hear you when you tell them I'm actually this and that, and then when you silently cut them off, they got offended. But that's on them, because I'm sure there's no way you can cut someone off without explaining something, or maybe you never raise any kind of issue with them that is bothering you, that you feel like it's insulting, is disrespectful toward you. Because at the same time, as much as we're actually having relationship, whether it's a friendship, romance, or family, you always communicate your needs. When you feel like you don't meet your needs, of course you have to let them go. You have to cut them off. If they're abusive emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, let them go. So cut them off. don't forget about this verse that love your enemies. Love, oh yes, you can love your enemies, but all the distance. For me, I don't believe I actually do have enemies. It's people who think, who view me as their enemies. For me, when I cut you off, I'm doing it for me. It's not you, me hating you. It's about me. It's about me. It's about my spirituality journey. It's about me mentally. It's about what I can tolerate. It's what I cannot tolerate. It's about me being truthfully to myself. It's not about you. So that's why I usually say I don't have enemies. You choose to make me view me as one. But okay, I understand that there are a lot of people who are doing shit things to other people, and then you'll be like, okay, wow, so you are my enemy, you know. So some people act like you go around create enemies when you have a path that it require you to let go of a lot of people. So don't be bothered by those people. They are not the same. They are not where you are. You know what exactly is going on in your own universe. So you knew it's only you know what's best for you. I can tell you about anything and anything. I can show you. I can introduce this information to you. But if you're not ready to do it, it's probably we are not ready. But at the same time, one day you will be ready. So yeah, thank you guys for liking, for uh subscribing on my YouTube channel. I really appreciate your support. That means so much to me. So bye.